Right, decisions. Yeah, enough of this. I was going to cash this in to give us almost enough for buying the Volvo, and then I thought you still need this, like shifting containers, stuff like that. You cannot do that with a Volvo, so I thought no. But what I'm going to do is we're going to give ourselves the full value for this. So we're going to start it for 63. But this is a swap out due to the, and I will unload it. I will. You can't put up with things like that. They're going to play with your head. And it's been in the game now for a long time, so I just cannot. I'm going to go for something I know is fantastic, even if it means. I mean, it wasn't that much cheaper, if I remember rightly. 63. I lost 10 grand. So yeah, it isn't an awful lot cheaper than anything else. I love its low centre of gravity, but it's yeah. So right, F12 tool. 10,000 is what we're giving ourselves. 10,000. That's the shortfall, because I'm swapping it for game mechanics. Is the only reason I'm allowing that, because this is a straight swap for another telehandler, basically. Also speed. I like the 43 is. How fast are you? I can't see. 63. 25. Okay, you are 15 and you're 30, so you're better than I'm sure of 40s and that. Yeah, I'm gonna say I think there's a 43. No, 40 kph is the best. Right, okay, so I have my choice. I've had the Massey, I like that, but again, I've had it. I love the turbo farmer. It's a little bit higher though, if I'm honest, and low centre of gravity is something that is important. I've had the Elite a lot, and that is a beaut. It is. The JCB, it's price. It really is a little bit pricey, truthfully, and that's a bit of a beast. I mean, that's, yeah, I've had the Scorpion a lot, and it is fantastic, and it is fast, and it is about the same horsepower, low centre of gravity as well. Managed to the, yeah, still 40. Okay, and that's the difference in speed when you drop down to that particular version. So do you know something? If we're going to go for, let's go for something I haven't had for a while though, and there's not a lot in it, is there really? There truthfully isn't. That is nice and low, it really is. Why have we got wheel setup standard if was one of them has got an option? It's not in it, is there? Do you know, let's stick with Michelin. Yeah, and I'm not doing for a license. I used to do all the time, but you know, let's do this. We do need it, so it's a shame because we are getting close. That's what I was debating, whether or not to go for the trip, but we still need this for certain functions. So yeah, let's buy it. Let's not second guess. We do need one, definitely. So hopefully now, yeah, that we don't get any of this. Let's have a little Taz in it. So let's get everything on. I've dropped the weight off and all the rest of it, so let's have a quick look. Yeah, I'm still thinking, I've got two minds to what I'm thinking. One, there's way too, I'm going to sell that, I know, because now it's a telehandler, or we need to, it's just front loader. It was that what was the reason we did that, wasn't it? Yeah, I think I need to get the tractor and sort these piles out, and that bigger one over there is a bigger one. It's not a spindly one, but yeah, some of them are, but yeah, there's a bit of tidy up work to do. That's going to take some time, and we've got a clock ticking because we've got that leased. So that's the real elephant in the room at the minute, but I've already leased it, so it's one of those. Now, hang on, is that the, it's got to be. No, I thought I'd put the, oh yes I did, of course I've got the other attachments on. Yeah, so I'm really inwardly debating. I do like the Volvo. I think we could get finesse in time, but it's like, are we going to... Basically, we are not logging in this per se, where we buy another patch of land and we log, because that's just not the way... Yeah, I mean, this is we cleared the land to make use of the land. So that I do understand now. I need to change the colour to make it match. Yeah, this is true. Definitely. But, yeah, this session we are going to go straight into... using the Volvo, and yeah, we now have got that, and it's the right, and that's not bad. I can yeah, I can live with that. It's fantastic. I love this feature. It is amazing. So we're going to use the Volvo, at least get our hour out of it, most definitely. I'm going to go straight into time lapse. Yeah, it does make more sense in some ways for me to get the blade on the back of the tractor and the in fact no, maybe the blade on the front, almost like a battering ram, and on the back we had the can't think of its name, the destroyer of logs. That's what I'm thinking, which is somewhere over here. I'm going to wait till it attaches because I cannot for the life of me think of what your name is. Destroyer of logs. You are not the tree devourer. You are not the tree be gone. That is right. You are. Yeah, I'm thinking of doing that because we're going to we could tidy up, but that's my dilemma. Is the clock is ticking and it's not a cheap item to lease. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to do a little bit of grabbing logs, sticking them in for this. Do a couple of containers. To cover the leasing costs and all the rest of it, because we have got, we've only got a limited amount of logs, although we've got a lot. I'm not sort of, like now, this was my dynamic. You need to live. No, up is down and down it's up, and it's still dropping stuff. Yeah, see, does it drop those little mini? It's got some little tiny grippers that, yeah, it has, and they've not clamped down. They've let go. So that must be something that happens in between sessions. Yeah, they're all dropping out, you see. Without that, this is pretty rubbish, truthfully. But yeah, I'll show you what I mean. In fact, no, you'll see them. Yeah, they literally come down. Those little black things at the top are quite amazing. Spin it around a bit and go down. No, down is down. No, down is really down. No. Now that should just about do it. No. Now, why did you spin? Because the angle I'm holding my gamepad. That's what I'll do it every time. Like, can we? Yeah, see those black things there that have come down? Of course, there's not much of a section for it to grab because I've only got a couple of things. So, but yeah, it does help. Those little tiny black claws. Definitely does help, because without those you can see they just all drop out, which is the old thing with the old big things. We're not getting the warning messages with these, so that is fantastic. Right, anyway, I'm going to go into a time lapse. We are going to grab this little, as much as we can of the bigger chunks, and then we will do a clean up with the telehandler and probably do a tidy up session. If we're going to hire this, lease this again for another hour, what we might do is lease it, get our money for now, get a little bit ahead, and then we will clean up without this being leased. Yes, I'm still thinking, do I? But then I'm going to have this big beast left at the end. I suppose you could sell it, but then what's the point in just lease it in the first place, really, if you're going to do that in the first place? This is what I'm thinking. But yeah, you can see this is not ideal, and then there's a pile of stones that's adding more difficulty. I hit a couple of logs that really sort of, it does weird things, still does weird things when you do things like that. I'm now beached, whereas really that would flatten those. It's still, some things are still not quite right, and that's where the physics of the game is obviously not quite right. But yeah, ideally you would want to push these together, and we need to spin that around and open, and I need to stop waffling and go into a time lapse, or I'm going to drive you all crazy. So I'm going to say my words. I'm going to see you guys and gals on the other side. Now I read you could do this, so is there another place on this for the, because you're building it, and this is one of the places it was said that it was, and obviously that's that symbol, but it doesn't seem to be doing it. So whether you have got to go up to the top, or whether you always have to deliver it and it does it to this, but then that, really, unless you need to buy it, I'm not sure. So I shall stick to what we know, we'll put it that way. We'll go up to the top and do the container warehouse. I suppose we could use the map feature, surely. Let's stick that off and let's look on the map. Does it show you the container warehouse up the top? Because if it does, we need to look for something else that's the same. So it's a tip pointy type thing. That's not that. And let's have a market. Hotel. You see, that's what I was told, but it's a different icon, definitely. And you are... It looks to me very much like that's the only place on the thing that is the container warehouse. It does. Right, smash him. I shall reconvene with yourselves at the top of the map. See you shortly. Now, I'm going to record this. I've just been trying to send the AI up to the top, set a destination, and it will not go. No matter where I go, it doesn't like... Give it a couple of seconds and you get that every single time. And this is a Giants map. I'm not impressed with that. And I'm straight on this road, so I'm not even... Ooh. Do we have a winner? Well, it depends. It looks like he's happy with the command. But, we haven't got all day. No, do you know what? We can get all day quicker ourselves. Now, yes, you watch yourself. I wouldn't tangle with this. I think you'll come off worse. Definitely. Also, there was a few. I'm interested in seeing how much. Now, the other thing I'm going to say, I'm going to turn around on what I said. I stick to my guns about Giants being a little bit harsh on the punishment, because if my 12-meter thing had another 14 cubic meters for 2,000 less, that was a severe punishment for the fact that you didn't have the right things. Now, we had a few warnings, not many. There was a few little end pieces or slightly different ones, so it shouldn't be too severe. We've seen what we get. We got 77 grand for a full load of this, so if we lose a little bit for that, then that's acceptable. But it shouldn't be this way. Although, that is true, actually. I mean, 77 is about 55 miles an hour. Isn't that the American limit? Right, probably. But so I do stick to my insight on the company and the way that it would be handled was exactly right, and it is very harsh. To lose almost the equivalent of the extra that you would have in the container to go down to the size before is a little bit on because you still filled your volume. I understand you're going to lose a bit, but that's not a bit. That's losing everything to do with the size of that container to take it down to the size before. That seems a little bit nasty. I'm going to say I see it. It is severe, let's put it that way. Actually, wow, we got more for that, so we must have put a few more little logs in. So that's exactly what we got when we did the 12-meter one. So we lost the equivalent of all of the additional. So that's it's half. We lost half of our load. No, a third of our load because of the penalty system. I missed it. That's fine. Right, so I shall reconvene with yourselves at the bottom. But yes, I do stick to my guns. My insight into the company and the penalty system is severe. I'm going to stick to my guns on that. So, Giants, you are as severe as you always have been, and you really ought to lighten up a little bit on being so, yeah, so severe on your penalties. It's awful. It's no wonder people prefer not. Why I steer clear of Giants maps and why nearly everybody steers clear of Giants maps is for that particular reason. It's, I mean, I've got to be, I'll give credit where it's due though. The price of the wood is good. It is. So yeah, and I do, there are some things, I do like the Volvo. That of all of the pieces of equipment so far, that's the only thing I was impressed with. The other equipment is just same old, same old. It's, you know, the features, the beams of light. When you get good with logging stuff, you really don't need that. It's for the, and I like that. I'm not having a go at that. If you are new to logging, all these little bells and whistles might be quite useful to learn. But yeah, once you've done that, you really don't need anything like that, because you just, as I said, it's muscle memory. I didn't say that was what it was, but it is. When you fiddle around with a piece of equipment for 20 minutes, 30 minutes, and if you've played with something similar already before, your muscle memory soon adjusts. That's why I could pick up a brand new harvester, because I've played with similar ones already. Right, container. It is, so your muscle memory is an amazing thing. But yeah, and let's say, might sound contradictory, so some of it is quite good. The Giants have done what they've done, I truly do think that, but I'd still think the penalty side of things is absolutely awful, truthfully. Yeah, it goes with what I have come to expect from Giants over the years, and that I am going to stick to most definitely. Right, let's go grab the. Yeah, I'm not disappointed. I mean, I said the words before, then I looked and I thought that's not too bad. But then obviously when you actually compare that price again, it is. Although the price of wood is good, that I'm not sort of. But the penalty, a loss of a third, truthfully. For a few, yeah, I feel the volume still. That's the thing you've got to remember. Right, so let's do this properly. Not that it really matters. I know we can still use the big bag handler, but I'm trying to hat off in the right direction. As I said, I mean, I'm being balanced about things. There are some things, I did say this yesterday, and it is true. There are errors in this game that would not have appeared in FS19. Didn't appear. Yeah, grass appearing. Yeah, I mean, my last. Rombos Road, grass appearing, that's to do with ground levels and stuff like that. Maybe it is the map maker, I'm not sure. I can't say for certain, and that's not a go at GM Game. And what I mean is, I show my ignorance of making a map. I know a lot of work goes into it because I've edited maps. I've never created one, but I would imagine it's a monumental task. So hat off to all of those who actually do that type of thing. Right, now then, where is the front and the back on this? Right, let's see if we can get it right this time, Mr. Smith, because you did it totally wrong last time. Yeah, so I'm not being totally critical. I'm trying to be fair. And I realise we live in a time where that kind of fairness is not politically correct, but, you know, I am who I am. I don't apologise. Fairness is trying to be balanced. So I'm going to call Giants for what I see as bad, but I'm also going to commend them for what they've done that is good. That is balance. Yeah, it isn't a spin doctor who pretends everything's hunky-dory to say all that is right. Now then, let's get this right while you're waffling. Yeah, no, it is true though. It is important. The times we live in are not massive on fairness. It's more about what's in it for me. That's greed. It's like I want me. That's all that's important. Well, that's not right. It really isn't. It should be fairness. Respects both parties. It should be that you respect me just because you're a mighty Tesco or a mighty Walmart. You've got me over a barrel and you're not afraid to shoot me. And that's the world we live in, where people of power pick on and are cruel to people without. And that's not fair, obviously. Nobody needs me to sort of say that that's the case, because it is, obviously. I'm quite happy with that. That's not terrible. But while we are here, well, two things. Yeah, I do realise I could have done something better than this last time. I could have strapped that at the back and then just pushed this at the front. So I'm going to try and do that in the future, going forwards. Yeah, it is amazing sometimes in editing when you see things that you do wrong yourself. That's what another reason I absolutely love editing, is that fact that you can see things that you could do better or you could do wrong, things that you did do wrong. I mean, there's plenty to see of you doing wrong every single session, always, because we all do things wrong, absolutely. Right, let us customize you, and we do not want you any longer to be... I'm not sure if it's the case. Oh, I think that's close. Oh, it doesn't matter, it's red's red. It's not perfect, I agree, it's not, but it's... I think it is actually close to a massy red, looking at that. Yeah, I never did test this. One thing I wanted to do before I tasked off was just to run close with this to sort of show what I was saying. It was really unnerving with the... yeah, this has got that skippy thing. I've always said this about the Manitou. Yeah, it does like a funny as you twist. It's almost like the torque of its turns is too severe. But let's just have a quick look and see if we get close to the wood. How close do we get before we hit the wood? Is it actually proper? Yes. You see, that's what should happen. I shouldn't hit the wood there, which is what was happening with the Liebherr. Everything I was hitting that like yeah, you were clipping that when you were here. No. That's there. At least half a tyre's width, like I said, and it was awful. You were like, because your mind can see the way things should be, and then the physical thing is that you bash into a wall that doesn't exist. So it's a mind numbing. Anyway, we have lots and lots of woods to do, and I do think, yeah, I was right actually. Have I opened the doors? Yeah, no, I haven't. Oh, it's a little bit. That isn't really terribly fantastic. No, it isn't. But hey ho, it will do. Yeah, I think this is going to work. We are going to crack on. We are earning reasonably well. We are going to stick. We're going to do another load at least. So we're going to go into another time lapse. I'm going to pick on all of the big things, and then we're going to mop up later on. Not this session, because this is going to be quite a bit. And I am wondering whether I do that, because. But then there's that cheat element where, did he cut down some more trees, or did he... that's what I've always said about why I like to show you everything, where you see the money go up, because you also see me fill the container and know that it was all well earned, that it really was legit and there was no cheating going on. So I think I'd sooner time-lapse and let you see me not cheating than I would not to time-lapse. There's a lot of little mini piles that a telehandler can... Yeah, 2 and 3 at a time. Telehandlers, definitely. It's the big set. Now, I remember there is a big set, a really massive set over here and to the right. So I think, yeah, this one here is a good one. I think we will come here with the Volvo, is what I'm saying. Now, let's point this in the best possible place. Yeah, that's another important fact as well, and that is getting your lorry in the best possible place for it all. That's that about in the middle of all of those. And of course I might actually fill that. Let's switch the engine off a minute, because the noise does put me off a little, I must admit. Yeah, as you get older, noises are a bit... Yeah, you can put up with an awful lot when you're young. Right. But when you get older, noise sensitivity gets... Yeah, annoying noises get much worse. Anyway... Yeah, I think I've said all I've said. I've tried to be fair. Giants have done some good things. I do love this. I do love the thing, especially if you're a new logger. It's good fun. It is. I have always enjoyed logging. It's just the not very friendly to trees sort of thing. Yeah, I'm a bit of a tree hugger at heart, definitely. So I feel a little bit remiss. But we will, as I said, we've got a record of how many trees we've chopped down, and my rule of thumb was always to do 2 trees for every one that we chopped down. So we all my life, seriously. Oh, good news, my favourite mod, the one that I always have used, always in FS19, hand plant saplings, is in FS22, so we can use my old faithful. So we're going to use that a lot, and we're going to grab lots and lots, 418 so far. Yeah, no, yeah, I don't think we're going to be chopping any more down, so I hope, unless it's something in our way or something like that. Yeah, I was trying to use this as a bit of a pusher by... Is it that? No, it's that on there. Yeah, you can sort of put it to the ground and sort of scrape a little bit, almost, and push it. It's not perfect, but you can get these into a semblance of order a little bit, not a lot, not like you're using a proper blade, but that's not bad. It really isn't. Yeah, and I realise so it isn't perfect. I've always said this with logging. It's that, what do I do? Do I chop the tree stumps down, or do I clear the land? Now, you've got to do a bit of both. You've got to clear a bit of the land so you can get to the tree stumps. So it's a bit of a, what came first, the chicken or the egg? It really is. I'll stick to that most definitely. So, and I do think you've got to do a bit of both. So clear a bit of the land, and then, now I think this one we're going to use the swivel function to actually grab them. And we ought to be roughly in the middle. Anyway, time-lapse time, I think, is definitely here. So I'm going to say my words, and I'm going to see you guys and gals on the other side. seem to be a bit of a... I can't go forwards or backwards, which is a bit of an odd one. And now I can. it's just... This game is so bizarre. Yeah, very strange. There are a lot of very, very weird strangenesses going on at the minute in the game. I have got to be honest. Yeah, well, I've said this and I did sort of say it earlier, but it is true. Very, very strange. Right, now let's pull this around. It almost makes a mockery of realism with the weirdnesses that go on in the game that are, yeah. Right, I should say about there-ish. Turn my engine off and we'll go into another time lapse. Yeah, I'm aiming. I have made my mind up. We are going to buy this. We are, definitely. In fact, if we got enough... If we do the... no, you've got to have the full amount to begin with. So one more load, and we're going to buy that. And what I'm thinking is, I said something that sort of jarred in me in editing, and that was that we could do the contracts. And yes, we could. So if we do, aim to do a little bit few of those contracts, the wood loading ones, we've got the lorry. It would work. And we would earn 10, 15 grand, sometimes 20 grand a pop. And this would not take it, quite a lot, and also we've got the use of it ourselves. It's not just as simple as that, is it? Let's be honest. Right, anyway, time lapse. Yeah, this is a bit messy now as well. Yeah, in fact, yeah. Again, I think, mind you, there won't be a problem with that soon. Yeah, if we can do one more load, we won't need to be so fussy, because we will buy this, and then we won't need, we can park it for an hour without worrying about, yeah, now this is a good set of wood. I'm going to have to move the lorry again. Yeah, these tree stumps are causing hell, but they always do. I always know that. That is true. It is what it is. Even for a big thing like this, you cannot ignore one of those things, especially the longer ones. I did try to cut most of my tree stumps small, but yeah, it never works out quite as you planned it to. Oh, okay, that's not... It's too... it's because it's against way too much stuff. Right, anyway, time lapse number 3. Let's hope. I'd like to finish this, even if this is a slightly longer session, because I'd like to buy this. That is my, yeah, that is what I'm aiming for. And then we can just at a more sedate pace. I think what we'll do is we shall, yeah, gather all of the wood together. I know there's going to be some hits with little end pieces when they're in like this, and that's the hit. I think we took about 5 grand hit on the cost because of that. Well, yeah, it is what it is. I understand that. That's the price you pay for if you mix your wood. Oh, trying my best not to. Yeah, it's those little ones. They're the important ones. You've got to carry on closing once you've closed, so it grabs those, because that's the all-important thing. And not go too high. Right, let's go grab the lorry. It needs to be closer to us than where it is at present. Yeah, I was totally wrong because we were nearly out of... Yeah, so this, I'm hoping, one more load of that, and we should have enough to buy that. And I know what I said, but yeah, it's more about for the future, and it is a good way of making money. Instead of fertiliser contracts, they don't take very long, is what I'm thinking. So yes, I like that. We can do a few of those, a few episodes, but we're soon going to rack up the money for doing our farming, so I'm not worried. Yeah, it's still building for the future. I still need the telehandler there. I was going to cut a corner and like literally do the telehandler where we got rid of the telehandler. I thought, you still need a telehandler. You can't. This beast can only do, yeah, so much. That should wobble in there if I just tip to the right. Yeah, I'm loving the articulation. It's helping a lot with this type of thing. But it's still obviously very... Yeah, I do stick to what I said. You will get better with this. Now, that's one of the little ones. Let's drop that. Yeah, when we've got a choice. Yeah, let's open that. And we let that drop when we can. But yeah, that was lucky. Right, anyway, time lapse, yeah, you know what we're doing. We're going to try to grab this or the big thing. Now, the other thing is, obviously, we're thinning the bigger ones. We are going to... This is the meat on the bone. So it's not all going to be like this. When we start... Yeah, I mean, there are... Let's have a quick recce. And let's turn time down to 0.5 on the bigger piles. Now there's a massive pile over here. Now that I didn't know, it's a bit messy, so it could really do with tidying up. This is probably one of the biggest single ones, and there's a couple of sections, and there's all these bits that we've already had a go at, but there's then also the top pieces at the top. This one needs tidying up, yeah, and there are piles over the other side, so you know, yeah, there's still plenty of meat on the bone. Let's not worry about we're nearly running out of money just yet. And let's say my words, yes, it is time to go into another time lapse. I'm going to see you guys and gals on the other side. Smashing, absolutely amazing. Let's quickly buy that before we get a leasing cost on top of it, and select and purchase. Absolutely, yes. And we even the leasing cost we got back, so that is amazing. Smashing. So at 54,708, and we have a nice shiny new toy. We do, and we don't need to worry anymore. So what I'm going to do, let's just, I don't do this very often, I'll take this back down on the normal page. But yeah, this is the end of the session, so I was well chuffed. That's going to be quite a long one, no doubt. But yeah, if we go down here and have a quick wander, yeah, there's the other thing is, you really need to, the bushes and that are getting in the way. So you can do you can paint, but it costs you, well, it don't cost you a fortune, but yeah, it's just to see, you can see what you're doing of it. And then these needs to be gone in. These little ones are actual objects that do need destroying. There's lots of piles of stones. Now this is obviously going to be the first field, so although I said we'll clear everything all in one go, there's not a rush now, truthfully. We've got our big thing to, and then boy does that clear some area quickly. You can half do some, but again we need to grab the blade on the tractor, push those into piles, I think, to tidy this all up, and then hit it again with that to tidy this area. Then we need to make a field. We are running out of time. It's 12:30, or halfway through the month of April, so there's an awful lot of work still to do to actually cut another field here. What can we, let's have a look. Yeah, that is the other thing. The other thing was that corn header. Still there. So we go out on a limb, if you'll forgive the pun. Do you know? And it, yeah, I know it is the CR1090, but they often work with others. But will it? Have I tried it? I've tried John Deere's, I've tried Massey's, but I've not tried that. Oh well, push comes to shove, we can always, yeah, let's do it. Sometimes you've got to just go for these things. It is a 10 metre, or do we? How much is it normally? It's a point. I know they are expensive corns. It's a 10 metre. That's pretty much half price. It's 80 for a 7.8. Yeah. Alright, so those John Deere ones are very reasonable. Yeah, they're not much different. 88 is what we would be paying for it normally, and 45 is what we're actually going. Oh, so do you know something? Let's go for it. No second guessing. That's the trouble with what I do. Yeah, so 45. We are down to 9,500 now, but we haven't got. Yeah, we are. We're going to clear some more wood next time and clear this area. Yeah, that's the main thing, is really to do some. Grab some of these little ones out of the way and clear out another field is my big thing. And actually we've got a corn header, so actually it's not quite so important, as in I think corn is May, isn't it? Yes, I mean it's also today as well, but it is one of the late ones. So being as we've got a corn header, I think let's do some corn. I've got the additional straw mod on, so I've never tried corn, whether that still does corn, I mean straw, because it should do a lot if it does, but I've never tried it yet. I've only ever foraged the last couple of times on Stone Valley. I literally used the forage machines, and we literally foraged it. So yeah, so there's a lot of work. This is my next thing that I want us to do. So clear this area, get all of the wood, get them, and I suppose it doesn't matter about those bigger bits over here. Well, it does here actually. Yeah, this is part of what I would like to be the field. Yeah, it's true. I would like this next one to be quite a bit larger than that one. So I have a little field and a big field here. So yeah, we do need to clear this entire area, or at least move things around a little bit to make the field accessible. That's what I'm thinking next session. So there's a lot of tidy work still to do. We've got to do another couple of loads of yeah, we've got that's a point. It's a planter. We've only got a seeder. We've got the header now. But then again, we are still going to need to. Yeah, I mean this is oats. So do we do soy? because we're going to have to lease one anyway, so why not do that? Alright then, we will for this year, but we've got the corn. I would like to do a corn harvest going forward. So do we stick to our guns? We've got wood. Yeah, let's stick to our guns. We're going to do corn. Sorry if I sound a bit indecisive, but it's one of those things where it's more of a weighing up option than indecision, where you're like thinking, well, shall I do that or shall I not? Money, but then we have got a bit of an ace card. We've got quite a lot of logs still. I would say there's probably even a minimum of another 2 containers, which is that's 150 grand, and I think there's more than that, but I'm just being conservative. Anyway, it has been an exciting session. We have our corn thing. Oh, we have our big monstrous Volvo, which that is I'm so chuffed at that. I was wanting it. I thought you can't always be practical, but the other thing is I thought, but it is true, when this is all finished, we're going to have this shiny L200H, and what do we need it for? So I thought, well, if you can do that, you're going to have to do some contracts to justify it. So yeah, the tree transport, I mean, some of them are quite lucrative. Yeah, some of them aren't, but then the small one's going to be tiny. So in one session you could do, they aren't long, that's what I like. It's more lugging them that takes the time. So yeah, I think truthfully, being careful with the L200H, that's 20,000. If each month you get a couple of those, and I know, yeah, but it will also, not only that, but it will have helped us on this. And it's also one of those machines, I've always said this, and it can do other things as well. As in so much as if you ever get stuck in them situations, it's a monster, it's heavy. You could use it for doing silos, 37.3 tons. There's not much heavier than that. So that would be a beast inside a silo. So yeah, you could really get that compressed quite quickly with that. And again, that then leaves you options where you think, well, I could actually use a traditional silo because I've got that beast to crush it down. So yeah, it's, and I know that's not the reason you buy it, but what I'm trying to say is pulling things in and using things in another way is quite useful. So anyway, I'm not going to waffle. I have bent your ears long enough on this session. Yeah, I'm going to say I truly do hope that you stick with me on this journey. Thank you very much for watching, and as always, comments are very gratefully received. Yeah, truthfully, and I'm going to say goodbye for now.